Well, I have some bad news. This is going to be my last episode on the F.Y.I. Quadra Sprints for you Quadra Sprint owners out there. There's a few reasons why. Main reason is I think I put about 10 miles on this bike since I've been here. And the main reason is because the road conditions here, well, let's put it this way. This bike is not environmentally sound to this area. The sidewalks are too small. And then you get to some spots and it's dirt sidewalk instead of regular sidewalk. Roads are rough. It's just not as enjoyable to ride as it was when I was in LA. Well, I'm kind of truly sorry I didn't get around to doing my next episode, but I've been very busy with this pool problem and trying to get other things situated in the house, ordering stuff and buying stuff. But anyway, I'm just going to give you a rundown of how I made my odometer to work. First of all, I bought a wireless, so you have no wires. And then the next thing I did is I got me a 1/2-inch drapery pull rod system, you know, ones that slide in and out together, and I pulled out the one side, took the finial out on the other side, and then I stuck some 3/8 rod, or I think it was a 1/2-inch, either 3/8 or 1/2-inch dowel rod, about where this is at, the strap, and then and that way I was able to drill a hole through these and tighten them up real tight, and then I was able to bend this to get this bend where I want it, and this is rock solid now. I got I think I used 5/16 bolts with 5/16 lock nuts on them. And it's important that you put 2 of them in there, because if this thing starts moving around, you're gonna have problems. There's a pickup right here. And you notice I got that pickup all the way out far as it can go. That's desirable, because then to get your rim size, all you have to do is measure the distance here and then double that and figure that out. I think this came out to like 21. So when I put my wheel size in, I used 21.2, I think, something like that. So that's how you get the right. When you set this up, when you put your battery in it, it's going to ask you a few questions. It's going to ask you if you want kilometers or miles per hour. I did miles per hour because I can relate to mileage and miles per hour much easier than kilometers. The other thing it'll ask you is for a wheel size, and that's what's really important, because the wheel size is really going to determine how accurate it's calibrated. Generally speaking, whenever I do one of these on my bikes, after I get it all dialed in, I push it, and I know a person walks about 3 miles an hour. If I'm walking a bike and the bike's saying I'm doing 3 miles an hour, I can rest pretty sure that's pretty accurate. So I don't know if you can see this, but that's the actual mileage I have on my bike. 1,142 miles. So, and it does take a battery for the top for this, and also on this, the pickup. And you can see how I strap my pickup on. You just make sure it's lined up to your pickup down there. Now a lot of the new ones, they're coming out, because I put one on a bike for a friend of mine, and when you line it up, when you line up the pickup, the magnetic pickup with the with this eye pickup, it'll give you a green light if you're lined up. If it's not lined up, you'll get a red light, which is kind of cool. So once you get a green light, then you know it's lined up perfectly. So that's how that works. I did get a call, or not a call, but I got an email from Eli and Richard from Quadra Sprints. They wanted to know where I got my steering wheel. Apparently people have seen pictures of it on their testimonials. Now people want the steering wheel. Now I'm going to point out something about this steering wheel. The regular donut steering wheel that came with the bike is 10 inches. This is about 13 to 14 inches wide. So you want to make sure that a body type your knees are going to be able to clear. I don't have a problem, but you can always, because this part of it is all aluminum, it's real easy to bend, so you could probably bend these upward a little bit to give you a little bit more. So I don't think it'll be a problem, but just to let people know. The other thing I suggest, if you decide to get this wheel, definitely get a spinner knob for it. That's worth it. That way you can keep one hand turning the wheel with one hand and keeping your other hand on the brake. It made a big difference. It made it so much more pleasurable to ride since I've done that. Of course, I put my shifter on the brake. I like it there, but you know, people probably like keeping it there. That's fine. The other thing they wanted to know is where I got my canopy at. Now, you people out there, just to let you know, you can get this canopy. All you got to do is go to Google and type in canopies for recumbent seats, and what will happen, this picture of this seat will come up with this canopy on it. It's on a different bike, but this canopy is actually made for this recumbent seat. I also covered this myself. I just glued this on and glued it up underneath, so I changed the color of it, because other than that it comes in vinyl black, which attracts a lot of heat. As far as the steering wheel goes, again, I found that on Google. I just typed up go-kart steering wheels, because that's what this hub holds. This holds a go-kart steering wheel. And I looked at go-kart steering wheels and I found the butterfly one, and this is the one I liked. They have different types, but this one seemed to be more attractive, I think. So I'm just letting you people know, this is my last episode doing anything on this bike. I'm going in a new direction, and it'll be a different kind of a bike. Okay, that's it. Just let everybody know I'm going to keep this bike. I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it for right now, but I'm not going to be doing the electric motor in it. It's not worth the money and time and effort if I can't enjoy it and ride it around. So I'm going to keep it for now, but I might sell it after a while. As much as I hate to depart with it, but unless, you know, 5 or 6 years from now they start improving the sidewalks around here and give us more bike paths. Other than that, forget it. It's not worth it to me. I decided not to do the electric motor in a quadricycle. I decided to get me something that's a little bit fits this area a little bit better. This is a two-wheel called odometer, full suspension, all aluminum alloyed electric bike. It is a hub motor. It's a 500 watt motor with a 48 volt battery, 10.4 amp hours, which works out to about 499 watts, which is just a little bit below 500. You know, but it does it from all the reviews that I read, people are happy with it. For my state, it will be legal to have this thing go to 25 miles per hour, and that's pretty much what it will do. It has the Kenda tires on it, and these are not plastic. These are actually magnesium alloyed rims, so no messing around with trying to true the rims and stuff with spokes. It's the only bad thing is if it actually would break before it bend, I think. it can be pretty brittle, I guess. I had them on my motorcycle and I loved them. And you can put weights on them to balance the tires too, which is kind of nice. So the weights just go on that lip on the very inside there. So it's pretty cool. It's a full suspension bike. So you can get another shot of it here. There's the suspension is in the center, and that whole weird swing arm right there is the whole bike. Some people are a little disappointed in the front shock absorber. They thought that should have a little bit more travel than what it has now. I think from what I read, it's only about 3 inches of travel. Maybe 4.5, something like that, because it was in millimeters. Yeah, but it's meant for a commuter off-road bike, basically, and that's kind of what I need for Arizona, because we have a lot of fields and dirt roads we can cut across through, and it fits on the sidewalks and the bike paths better than my quadricycle does. So